Let's go from the offense to some special teams guy. Byron Storer is the new special teams coordinator for the Cleveland Browns. And,
by the way, could any of you pick any of these new coordinators out of a lineup?
No.
Yeah. You could?
No. Yeah.
All right, good.
Schweitzer looks, I don't know about special teams guy, but the OC and the DC for sure.
Well, you'll see their faces in a
you.
He's very handsome, I hear.
When we did who would you protect on the Browns in an expansion draft?
Yeah.
Jay mentioned he was considering Corey Bojorquez. Now,
Jay's out of his mind.
Now,
by the way, Jay, one of the guys he kept was J.O.K.
He also suggested
now, one of the guys I said I'd keep is Shedeur Sanders. People might think I'm out of my mind for that.
Jay said he would keep J.O.K.?
Yes.
Jay said he chose J.O.K. over Bojorquez as his 8th choice. Now, we didn't
It's really more of an indictment on the Browns than Jay.
Yes.
That's true,
but
fair.
We did not realize at the time that Bojorquez was a pending free agent because that should have nullified him from the list anyway. And after listening to new special teams coordinator Byron Storer yesterday, I thought Bojorquez was back on the roster because he was under contract. I thought they'd re-sign him. That may not be the case. This is what Storer had to say when asked about Bjorquez's future in Cleveland. He said, quote, "The thing that I would say is that we're exploring all options, but I do want to say, though, for Corey, that I respect the 4 years that he's been here and what he's done here for the Cleveland Browns. And as I go through the building and I ask people about him, there's nothing but good things that they've said about him. So I really respect the player."
By the way, that looks like the picture when they go to central casting and say, "Give me a random white dude."
Looks like an AI photo.
Yeah, right.
Well, that quote is as much of an indictment on he's not coming back as you could possibly
That's
say.
a handshake and a gold watch on your hand.
Yes.
You're
See ya.
way out the door.
So the question is,
That's messed up. Corey Bojorquez has been the Browns' top 5 player for the past 3 seasons, man. I don't care what nobody says.
That's sad.
I would buy a Corey Bojorquez jersey.
You would not.
He has been arguably the best player outside of
Then
Miles.
why haven't you bought that jersey?
Because I don't buy jerseys
That's smart.
anymore. Well, football jerseys.
What was the first football jersey you ever bought? Do you remember?
That I bought or that I had? The first football jersey I ever had was Terrell Davis.
Oh, wow. Were you a Broncos fan as a kid, or you just like Terrell Davis?
I don't know. My pops just got me a Terrell
Just got
Davis
Terrell Davis.
jersey.
What was the first one you bought?
The first one I bought? Well, I was very poor, so when I got my money, once I got to the league, I bought a Jim Brown jersey.
Oh, that's cool. That's nice. Jason, you remember?
remember.
You're too old.
I'm
too certainly too old to remember.
I don't remember.
No clue.
I actually remember that. I bought a Jim Brown jersey.
Nice.
And then I bought
you still have it?
Yeah, and then I bought a Deion San Fran jersey.
Why San Fran, not Dallas?
I don't know. I like the red, red old school San Fran jersey.
I hear you. They did have sweet jerseys. But when I think of Deion, I think of Dallas.
I mean, technically, I really wanted the Atlanta one.
Oh, the Atlanta one would have been
100% honest with you, but they didn't have it in stock when I was.
my first jersey was a Yao Ming jersey. True story.
Your first jersey was Yao Ming?
very
Yao Ming,
typical
yeah,
of you.
Yao Ming.
Could you be any less Yao Ming?
I know. But you remember Modell's? I don't think they still
Of course,
exist anymore.
yeah.
The one in where I grew up in Jersey was not a very nice Modell's, and it was the only kid-sized jersey they had at the time. And I was like, "Dad, I need a Yao Ming jersey." He's like, "Why?" I said, "I don't know. I need
Isn't
it."
that funny that the only kid's jersey was the biggest guy in the NBA?
But yeah, so
Yao Ming was awesome for a minute.
he was.
When-
Jason, are you surprised based off what Bjorquez has done the last couple of years that it appears his tenure in Cleveland may be over?
Yeah, a little bit. I am. I don't think it's a cap thing. Like, it's a punter.
Yeah, no. How much?
That's
he
what
bought?
I said. It's a punter.
What does the best punter get paid? $3 million a year?
I do. The one thing with Corey that I think where he struggled was being able to pin kicks inside the 20, pin him at the goal line. He's never been able. I don't have the numbers back it up.
There's also that reputation of kickers struggle with him.
I don't know.
Brought
that
up. I think that might be
that
nonsense.
Yeah, I think that's nonsense. But I just, for as many times as they punt, it just seems like a lot of times he struggles at times to spin it dead inside the 10. A lot of his trickle into the end zone. That's the only. I mean, I don't know. But other than that, I am a little bit surprised by this because he's kind of, to Tyvis' point, he's kind of been the MVP the last couple of years. Anytime they got a lead, play defense and punt.
He flipped the field a lot for them.
He did. He's got an unbelievable leg.
I think we've spent more time talking punter than they have on Boston sports radio in 30 years total.
I mean, between Bojorquez, Phil Dawson and Josh Cribbs. Does anyone do special teams like Cleveland?
That's true.
Because what else is there?
Yeah, fair.
So real quick, I got 2 numbers for you guys. The highest paid punter in football is Michael Dixon, the Seahawks punter, who makes just over $4 million per year.
$4 million, okay.
Now, that's because Logan Cook, the Jaguars punter, about 10 days prior signed a contract, 4 years, $16 million. So they literally gave Michael Dixon an extra $50,000 per year. So it's $4 million and like a little bit. To your point, Jason, on Bojorquez, he ranks in the top 5 over the last 4 years in average distance per punt, but he ranks in the bottom 10 percentile in the coffin corner category, which is punting guys.
That's
the most important.
Punting average is a stupid stat because it doesn't.
Not if you're the offense is backed up in your own goal line.
Yes, but there's no context to it. You know, there are some times where you're not trying to punt far.
Yeah.
And I would like to know the punting average. The punting average to me is only meaningful on all punts where you're trying to kick it as far as you can.
Well, it's also, I mean, it's predicated on your return team, but
that's true too.
What your net yardage
right,
kick your coverage.
But the fact that he's
that's the thing.
I didn't realize he was what did you say, bottom 10%?
Bottom 10.
And according to football database, in the last, they do it by percentiles.
Yeah.
His coffin corner rate since he joined Cleveland's in the bottom 10%.
I didn't know that was a stat. I've been telling you for years he struggles with that.
I didn't realize that. It's a good job out of you.
Who's won, out of curiosity? Is it Michael Dixon?
Dixon and A.J. Cole of the Raiders are the 2 highest.
Good for them. That coffin corner thing that's serious. But
I mean, it has changed. It wasn't that long ago. For punt returns, it was put your heels on the 10.
And don't move.
And don't move. Anything over your head, let it go.
Yeah.
But these guys have gotten so good at being able to spin it dead.
Yeah.
That's no longer. I mean, guys are fielding punts now at like the 7, the 6, the 5.
They
because
shouldn't, but I mean, if you're going up against a good punter.
Call a fair catch there.
No, you don't call.
That's stupid, but guys do it sometimes.
But they're catching it there because
the guy is so good at
spinning it. Yeah.
Well, because
bouncing, the best ones when you cover it is when they kick it and it bounce and it goes straight in the air because they give you time to get up under it and catch it.
Right, because back in the day, the majority of those that went past the 10 would go into the end zone. And obviously now the percentages have changed, and that's why teams are fielding them more.
Well, that might be it. That might be why they're moving on.
Yeah,
that would be the only reason.
That's really the most important thing for a punter, and he's bad.
What they're telling me is if they're moving on from him, they're saying that this offense is going to be so much better and we're going to be able to because realistically, you get 2 first down, it flips the field when you punt the ball. So realistically, they're saying our offense is going to be much better, that we're going to have way more coffin punts. We're going to need more of those coffin corner punts than him booting it as far as possible.
Right.
So they're basically saying that the offense is going to be a lot better.
Let's hope they're right.
They better be.
Possibly be worse.
It really can.
Well, was we 32nd last? 31.
I think the Titans were worse.
I mean,
they was 30. The Titans was 32nd.
I think so. I guess it depends on what stat you're looking at, but
that's crazy.
The Browns were near the bottom in every offensive stat.
And just to put a bow on this, Steve, you take it again. When you see the quote, based off how he answered this question, right?
The beginning says it all.
There's no way they're coming back with Bojorquez now after he says it like this, right? Just want to make
Again, we just talked about this before. You never say anything, you're not going to say a comment like this if you're expecting the guy to be up.
No. We love Corey. We expect him to we expect to get something done with him. That's what should be said.
We're exploring all options.
Once they say that, it's done. It's over with.
Those options do not include Corey Bojorquez.